Morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is just a message from me and my family to say, I hope you're well, just checking in. To the toddlers, to the teenagers, to the young adults, to the adults. I know we want to be doing what we're doing and what we do best, but we're all in this together, so I'm sure we're all following the simple guidelines. Listen, I'm not a politician, I'm not part of the government, but I do take note. Even a rebel like me would love to be out there doing the most right now on my dirt bike, sparring, going to the boxing gym. Yesterday it would have been my first day of training camp, preparing for my fight, defending my championship belts, but I've got to follow guidelines to make sure that we get through this together. And to the ones that have lost loved ones or the ones suffering, you've got my love and support. And especially to the ones we take for granted, the NHS, you're the real heroes, man. One love to all of you guys. Thank you so much.
Big man ting, smash a like button and subscribe. So we just heard there from Anthony, Brotherly, Joshua. And I thought since the YB's been away for the hottest minute, this would be a pretty good note to come back on, because obviously I haven't been connecting with you, man, for, like I said, a hot minute. So this is a relatively, what's the word, current note, a current message to come back to, and a current message to also address. So AJ starts off by saying he hopes everyone's well, and the YB does exactly that too. In these times of pure bookiness, we're hearing a whole lot of madness. I don't want to say it. I'd love to be able to say particular things, but I can't say particular things. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's there, but when I say madness, we're hearing it might be this, it might be that. See what I mean? Read between the lines there. My point is, this whole C, we'll call it the big C, this whole big C, we're hearing a whole lot of madness and whatnot, but fundamentally, and even me personally, I feel that, I spoke about this on my Patreon to some of my man on there, but I feel that even me personally, I've taken a bit of a psychological hit from, I don't even know what. Maybe it's them waves they're talking about. I don't know. Or maybe it's just the general feelings that are out there. Or maybe it's watching too much negative damn YouTube. Who knows? The bottom line is, I hope everyone's well. I feel for you, any man out there who have been laid off. I really do. Like, I'm out here posted up in the basement, so I'm as it happens, I'm alright. But you man out there who have got families to provide for and whatever else, and you've been laid off, I really wish I was in I swear now, and if I was in a position to help, I would help. Do you know what I'm saying? I'd help my man. You man have supported me, and trust me, I'd support you. But obviously, man's as broke as next man out there, so it's one of them ones. But I really hope. I could sit here and say let's pray and that, but praying ain't gonna literally put food on the table. But what we can do is get through it together. Know that you're not the only one who's going through them testing and troubling times. There will be a bag of man who are also laid off and whatnot. Now that don't help nothing, but still, it's good to put things into perspective. Also, another thing I think that can potentially help is thinking about others, i.e., whatever we're going through in the UK, we know that, like, for example, people can't, I think there's some legislation, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure there's some legislation that's come in that people can't be kicked out for X amount, so you're not going to lose a house over your head. We do get, worst case scenario, you're going to get 400, 300 or 400 quid a month gyro, so you won't, and if you've got kids, you'll obviously get more. You're not going to starve in the UK. We do have some privileges which other countries don't have. If you're in other countries, so-called, I hate to use this word, but third world countries as such, there ain't no backstop there. You're out on the street, boss man, and your kids are starving. And in fact, the scary thing is, we're hearing about all these DEATHSs from the big C. More people DIE a year from genuine starvation and dehydration than the big C has ever will have and has ever taken. Does that make sense? Just because it's not our reality in the UK, you have to bear that in mind. People are literally burying on a daily basis. People are literally burying their kids, their mothers, their fathers from not having food and clean water. That's going on and has been going on. Just because it's not a pandemic for us, that's been a pandemic for certain populations for the last 100 years. So once again, that's not going to put no money in your bank. That's not going to put no food on your table. But it is good, I think, to put stuff into context. Now, I've been there myself psychologically, where you don't feel too sharp or whatever, and hearing that, some of you will be thinking, "Oh, F off YB," and I completely get that, because I was for the last 4 weeks, I've been telling myself that. Do you know what I'm saying? But still, ultimately, it can't hurt to kind of take yourself out of your own head and think about your position relative to others. We ain't at the bottom, that's for sure. We're far from the bottom. Trust me on that one. Anyway, moving on. Brotherly AJ goes on to address the guidelines and how he'd love to be out doing the most and on his quad bike and all this kind of business and how we need to adhere. And I agree. Although I am a bit more liberal on that kind of thing there. I feel that, maybe I shouldn't be saying this. I'm not a public spokesman, so I can say what I want. I'd like to think so, but you never know on this YouTube thing, so I'm not even sure if I should say this. But I think as long as you're being sensible, like for example, I don't think there's nothing wrong with meeting up with one of your friends and going on a walk. Obviously maintaining 6 feet distance or whatever. I don't think there's personally anything wrong with it. Now obviously, if you're going to meet up 10 man, 12 man deep and sit around and in the yard and bun this and bun that ain't too smart. And pass this, you know what I mean, like this, bun this, pass this. No, that's not what I'm talking about. But if you wanna on a more spiritual level, link one of your brethrens there outside where the wind's blowing and you're walking and you're moving and you've got distance between each other. Me personally, now I understand why the government can't come and say this because people take liberties, but if you want to do that, and I think in terms of for your mental health, if you need to do that, some people can't be locked in their yard 24/7. Do you know what I'm saying? Some people can't deal with that. So if you feel that you're literally, it's a difference. If you feel it's literally the difference between linking one of your brethrens for 30 minutes a couple times a week on a walk in the wind and the wind's blowing, i.e. you're not at risk, versus doing some madness to yourself, doing some harm to yourself, then that's what you must do. And I do feel that's one of the places that the government has gone wrong, in terms of they've focused on keeping people safe from the big C, but the big C that's not the only thing that people can DIE from, is it? There's other things, there's other mass. In fact, I'm pretty sure for men under 45, the biggest KILLER is SUICIDE kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So, and knowing these pressing times, whether you've got a family or not, whether you're a single man or not, trust me, this being isolated, no one gets happier from being in these situations. So like I said, if you can arrange, but just be smart about it. Use your IQ. Use that IQ that them LDBC man don't have. Go on a walk. Keep as far away from each other as possible whilst you talk. Don't talk. Don't breathe in each other's faces. Yeah. Don't pass the zoot. Yeah. One of them ones. be on one of them tight ones. Keep it to yourself for that session there. Do you know what I mean? And keep it moving. Quick link and boom, you're off. Yeah. That's what I personally think. If you need that. Now, if you don't, if you're one of them man who's completely fine and you'd rather not, then that's also fine. Because some people are mad. They're going mad the other side. They're mad like, oh, I don't want to be. Please keep away. And if that's the case, if you're one of them dons who's 100% committed to their health or their physical health and their psychological health's on point, then great, good for you. But for the other man, I don't feel the government's done enough to address people who struggle psychologically. So having said that, maybe this may inspire some people to, I don't know, I'm not trying to be no maverick here and try and rally the troops, but I'm just saying, if it's the difference between doing a madness, trust me, it's just try and link one of your brethrens, yeah, and go for a quick walk and have a quick joke and do whatever you normally do, using your brain kind of thing. So that's that part addressed. Next thing, Anthony Brotherly Joshua addresses condolences to people who have lost loved ones. Now, as it happens, I myself have lost a second cousin. So my dad's cousin has passed as a result of the big C. Now, he had a bad case. Well, I don't really. My family's a bit, detached. So I can't really. I've never seen him a day in my life. Don't know what he looks like. Don't really know him from Adam. But apparently he had quite bad asthma. But that's all I can really tell you. So and like, because I didn't know him, because it doesn't really affect me. But I'm just saying that's one that I can tell you about. But emotionally, it's taken literally zero effect. But there will be people out there who have had mothers, fathers, close people, and for you man out there, like AJ said, these words of hearing them would be hot air. If it's me who had lost someone close, it's hot air. But trust me, I do really. If I could ease your pain, I would. Do you know what I'm saying? That's that part done. Next part, AJ mentions that right about now he'd be. This video came out about a week or two ago, so. Yeah, so 2 weeks ago. So right about now, he would have been starting to train for the stiff curb rat. The curb rat waiting for AJ's left hook, Pulev. He had been starting to train for that fight. And that did bring me, I did have to wipe a tear from my eye after hearing that, I must admit. Thinking about how I was salivating for this 4-month period that was coming up. And I can't believe it as well, just quickly to mention, the fact that we've lost to Khabib versus Tony Ferguson. Oh my, I'm heartbroken. That was the one thing I was hanging on to. Let's just, let's reminisce for a quick sec. Let me bring your minds back to where we were not long ago. February 22nd. Deontay Wilder, his cheeks were busted, cherry popped too nicely. You had not only that though, that wasn't the only thing that was. Saying that makes it sound as if it was an end. That didn't end there. Then we had a few weeks. In fact, I think the man is still on it. I haven't checked, but I think the man is still doing it. Then we had a few weeks of the lovely whining of a bag of 50-year-old LGBT man. Oh man, the gloves and the deals and hearing what's that word? What's that word? All I know is it's that cool. It's that pheromones. That's what it translates to. Hearing them big 50-year-old man whine like that, that's pheromones to alphas like the YB. I smell that in the air. Gets the YB rock hard hearing them moan like that. Oh, it's like, in fact, it equates to, or it's similar to a woman moaning. That's what it's like. Gets the YB riled up. Oh, you know what I mean? I feel to go and, in fact, scrap that. Scrap explaining what I feel to go and do. But that's what it does to a man. I'm sorry. I'm straight down the line. I'm not even into that kind of thing. But hearing them big hardback man moan at, oh man, the gloves and the deals and the gloves and that's what. Do you know what I mean? Hearing that kind of whining, that's not natural to hear. You're only meant to hear that kind of whining in particular situations, and then particular situations only are supposed to arise in the vicinity of a female, if the truth be known. But anyway, like I said, we had Wilder getting his cheeks split. Then we got to listen to the lovely whining of them man for a few weeks. Then we was looking forward to Joe Joyce versus Triple D Spot. Wow. Then we was looking forward to Chisora versus Usyk. Wow. Then we was looking forward to Khabib versus Ferguson. Wow. Then we was looking forward to AJ versus Pulev. Then we was looking forward to Wilder versus Fury 3 or whatever it was. We had this 4-month period of unparalleled. I think I've missed one in there. Oh yeah, and also we had before Billy Ho messed up himself. But at that point we didn't know at that point, but we would have had Billy Ho and Canelo in there as well. Wow, that would have been the best 4-month period. Did I say Usyk and Chisora as well? But yeah, that in throw that. Oh yeah, and Dillian White and Povetkin, not the top of the bill, but still throw that in there. Why not? That would have been the best 4-month period in fighting/boxing history, i.e., including the MMA fight. In history, in history, man. I don't care what no one says. I guarantee you'd be hard to go back over the sport of boxing. Over the last 100 years, there has never been a 4 or 5 month period as stacked as that. No way, not possible to have it that stacked. That's what we was looking up to. 2-2s, the big C comes along and Merkles it all off. Now, as it happens, it may end up being it just pushes it back. It just like kind of maybe we will still get that 4 or 5 month period, but it will just be pushed back X amount of months, and we can stay hopeful for that. All I know is. Yeah, all we can do is stay hopeful. It's a shame that it had to be this 4 months. Think of all the 4 months, like for example, last year, 2019. What did we have last year? 2019, this 4 months was dead, wasn't it? We had AJ chasing everyone around. That would have been the perfect time for this kind of ish to happen, because nothing was going on, didn't we? We had Fury. What if Fury didn't even fight in that period? Oh yeah, we had AJ versus Ruiz. Kind of thing. That was it. And that was a nightmare kind of. So in reality, we missed nothing. Absolutely nothing. All did we would we have missed? That whole 6-month period from January to June was nothing in there. Literally, I can't think. There wasn't one fight, was there? Not one. We had December Fury versus Wilder. So from December 1st to January 1st, which is 6 months, there was not one decent fight. Why couldn't it have been then? And if anything, it'd have been interesting to give us something to talk about. Instead, we get it when we're running up to. That's how life goes, I guess. Whenever you're the most gassed, there's always some madness thrown in there and mixed around nicely to put you off. But anyway, it is what it is, and I know probably people who've lost people think this is pretty much what I've just said. There's don't really mean much. Like let's put it into perspective. These are fights. People are losing their LIVEs or whatever. But yes, I'm sure even for you, man, to be fair, who've lost people, it would have been nice to have this kind of stuff going on to take yourself out of this reality. It's like we're stuck into it. But anyway, the last thing AJ touches on, and this is something that I'm going to talk about on my other channel in depth, but he says big love to the NHS, and I've got to absolutely massive love, not only to the NHS, but to all the frontliners. I've got so much to talk about, it's mad, but I won't go into too much detail. All I'll say is, yeah, big love to all the not just the NHS, all the supermarket dons who are out there in front of all of us dirty people not washing our hands, and well, obviously personally I am, but you'll have a certain amount of people who ain't washing their hands and are coughing and whatnot and all. Do you know what I'm saying? So for all these supermarket workers who have been denied PPE and etc., all you frontline dons out there who are holding it down, hats off to you, and you are the true MVPs. You should be the ones, for this period, you should be the ones earning footballer salaries, in my opinion. They should just transfer it. That's what should happen at this point. Because for footballers, you ain't playing anyway. At this point, the people taking risks, and that's what it's about. The reason footballers make so much money is because they're generating something. At the moment, the people who are risk takers, entrepreneurs are risk takers. That's why they're rewarded. The risk takers now are the frontline dons. They should be the entrepreneurs now. The people taking risk now are the frontline people. They should be rewarded for that handsomely. Now maybe 100 grand a week's excessive, but they should be on 100 grand a month. Sorry, so 100 grand a year or something decent. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what should be happening now. But that's for another channel and another discussion. But yeah, of course, big love to them.